that, and getting the finish in the second round was just perfect.
What was the game plan going in?
I don't usually have like a super strict game plan. I just kind of have like things I want to do. Like we wanted to cut her off because we know she uses a lot of movement. And use my strikes to close the distance and maybe get a takedown. She was definitely harder to take down than I expected, and she had good body lock takedowns as well. She actually took me down a few times. So that was something a little unexpected. But yeah, I didn't have a super structured game plan, just little details that we wanted to work.
Were you surprised that she tried to take you down?
No, I'm not. Her last 2 fights were against girls that were primarily grapplers, and usually she went towards the end of the round for the takedowns, but she was kind of catching my kicks and going for takedowns there. So I wasn't surprised. She's a vet. She's been in the UFC forever, so she's not really scared to throw down with anybody anywhere. So it wasn't surprising.
You're now 2-0 against Team Elevation. How does that feel?
That feels good. I feel like, because I train at like smaller gyms around where I live in New Jersey, and I feel like a lot of people feel like they need to go to huge gyms in order to improve, and I don't think that's true. As long as you have good coaches that invest time into you and you invest into them as well, like you can get better, great anywhere, be world class anywhere.
A lot of the fans were very disappointed that you opened up the prelims and that you were on the main card. Did that bother you at all?
No, it definitely wasn't expected. But, I knew exactly when I was going to be fighting. 10 a.m. I'd be fighting. I'd be able to get it in early, and now I can go celebrate the rest of the day. So.
Speaking of fighting at 10 a.m., what was that like?
It was definitely a little weird. I usually spar at 10 a.m. anyway, so I kind of just kept that in my mind. I was like, well, you know what? I spar all the time at this time anyway, so why not fight at this time?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Finally, for me, what's next? When would you like to return, and are you looking to fight someone in the top 10?
Yes, definitely. Like in the cage, I want the winner of I versus Barber. I think either of those girls would be a great fight for me. And if not them, I definitely want someone in the rankings. I'm 3-0 now in the UFC, and I think I deserve that.
Do you want to get on that New York card later this year?
Of course, I'd love to fight in MSG. I think that's the only place that I want to fight. I don't really care anywhere else I fight, but I want to fight in MSG in front of all my family and friends.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How do you see that fight playing out between I and Barber, and who do you think that will take that win in that fight?
I think they're both pretty even skill-wise. I think maybe Barber's a little bit more aggressive, but so is I. I'm not really sure who's going to win that fight. I think it's going to be a scrappy fight. I think it's going to be kind of like a little bit of a war. But I could see either girl winning. I'm not sure.
That being said, is either one of those do you see one of those talents that you would rather challenge yourself against? Would you like to see yourself getting in there, getting on the ground with Barber, or would you like to see yourself maybe standing up against I?
I haven't really thought about it that deeply. I just want to fight the winner of that fight because I want to get into the rankings and get myself a little bit deeper in so I can start fighting girls there.
Were you surprised, or were you expecting to be such a big favorite going in this fight over JJ, knowing that JJ had so many fights in the UFC already?
I wasn't surprised because I know you can kind of get hyped up quick in this sport. I won my last 2 fights, and especially the fight against Maverick kind of boosted me a lot. A lot of people had her pinned as a future champ, and then I went in there and just mauled her. So I wasn't super surprised that I was a favorite. A little bit that I was such a huge favorite. But you know what? I guess they were right.
Yeah. Well, that being said, right after the win, you had a lot of emotion on your face, and I don't know if that was through maybe just the hard toughness of JJ at the beginning of the fight, or if there was something else. But what was that emotion about that you immediately showed right after the win?
Yeah, I think it was just the toughness of that first round. She was definitely sharper and a little bit stronger than I expected. I knew I can go out there and win those next 2 rounds, but it was definitely the toughest round I've had in a while. So I feel like getting that, and then also just getting that finish that I've been looking for so long. I feel like the combination of both of those is why I was kind of emotional.
Yeah, and I guess last thing for me, walk us through that finish. Is that something you've been working on a lot? Is that your go-to move in the gym? But kind of tell us about how you set that up, and once you sort of saw that opening, did you know that it was going to be over?
Yeah, that's definitely something I hit in the gym a lot. It wasn't something I was practicing particularly for this fight. I just saw, I'm not exactly, I would have to watch it back, but she kind of just fell, and she was scrambling to get up, and I got a front headlock, and I felt she wasn't defending her neck. She should have grabbed my hands right away, but she didn't, and I just felt my right arm was super deep, and I love high elbow guillotines, so I just went for it right away, and her back was pinned on the cage. I was like, no shot, she's getting out of this.
Awesome. Well, congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
One follow-up. Tracy Cortez got into the rankings. She's the one that knocked you out of the rankings. Is that a fight that you want to run back? A lot of fans and analysts believe that you won that first fight.
Yeah, I would definitely run that fight back. I just know she's not super active. She's only fought once a year since she's been in the UFC, so I'm not trying to wait around for her. But if they want to make that matchup and it makes sense to me, I'll definitely take that fight.
Awesome. Congrats again.
Thank you.